Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Barbro,
experience that I get
today my video has
experience, but
nothing to do with
experiences
makeup,
of lifestyle,
as you
if you
can
will, depending on
tell
who
by
you
the
talk
title
to,
of it.
about my
So long
sugar
story
daddy
short, the reason why I'm doing
experiences.
this video is because my Instagram just blew up. So many awesome, sweet people shared the Cheetah makeup
because again, it is a lifestyle. It is something that is not always comfortable. Some people love it, some people hate it. I don't really have a strong opposition either way. Having gone through it, I'm glad that I don't have to be in that situation anymore. But I don't judge people who are in a situation of having a sugar daddy.
I figured I would make
what a sugar daddy
this video.
A sugar daddy is usually a guy who will provide you gifts or money or some sort of compensation in return for it. It could be for your time, it could be for sex, it could be for whatever. One of my longest sugar daddy relationships had no sex, not even kissing, and I talked about him before. He ended up being a little creepy. He still stands outside Hollywood Boulevard, which is like so crazy to me because I'm like, why does he do this? It's because he's bored. He's retired. He's a retired,
but that's not true.
Military.
So I wanted to give you guys as much
He's a retired military.
as possible.
I don't know how he made his money, but I met him actually when I stood outside the Boulevard. I used to stand out there with all the costume characters. I used to be Superwoman with my neighbor Superman, and I'm sure if you dig hard, you could find it, because back in MySpace, Superman out there, his name was Christopher Dennis. We're still friends on Facebook, so you could totally probably see his Facebook and find me on there. But I used to stand out there, and he introduced me to this guy, and he was a gentleman in his 60s, wore like a toupee, was I think a little not off, but he was very much a kid in his mind. He would like to play dress up, and his whole house had like Wizard of Oz and I Love Lucy and like superhero memorabilia, if you will. Sorry, is this gonna bother people? I know people always hate it when I like don't have one thing.
I'm gonna start off with just a little background about
me. Just throw that back there, maybe that'll help. So basically how it started was my friend Superman would be like, oh, he wants to take pictures of us, and he wants to take us to lunch and pay us for our time. He took us to lunch the day I met him and gave us each $100 just for going to lunch with him. Then he said he wants to take photos of us and will also pay for our time. And I said, okay. So I would be going with my friend, and he would pay us $500 for photos, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Then he offered me to personal photos. He said nothing naked, it could totally be in public, just around LA. He wanted to take my picture. He's like, I want to take your picture at the Grove, which is a shopping center with a ton of people, and I'll take you to breakfast and all that stuff. And I said, okay, because my friend had told me that that's what he does. He just pays for people's time and their pictures. So I went that day, and we ended up spending 12 hours together just going around LA taking pictures, because I'm one of those people who feels really awkward trying to get out of situations. And so I would go around and take pictures where he wanted me to, and he took me out to eat and all that stuff like that, paid for, you know, clothes and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, he gave me $800. To me, it was such a big thing because I needed that money at the time. I was dancing, but you don't make that much at the clubs I stripped in. You know, you wouldn't make $800 in a night. It just wasn't like that in the clubs I was at.
I still have this anger problem, and I was still always mad.
So I really did need that money, and it was really great, and so I kind of became addicted to it because it was really, really easy. So for a few months, we would do just that, and no sleepovers, no kissing, no nothing, not even flirting. I would be really just kind of at bay with that, and he even said, oh, one day you're going to get married, and I can take your pictures, and he was just like, whatever. He started to get a little possessive of me after a couple months of just doing this, and little by little it kind of went down. The more we became like friends in his mind, it went down a little more. I don't think it was fair to me that the situation was set up, you're going to spend time with me and I'll take a picture and I'll give you X amount of money, and then it just goes down little by little by little, and it becomes less about the picture, more about
when I was 18.
He would do stuff on occasion, like put his arm around me, and it made me really uncomfortable, and I told him, I would tell him it makes me uncomfortable. I would only get $100 that day. And sometimes he would try to kiss my cheek, and I would like back away. So as soon as I became a little more comfortable, and you could sense myself distancing myself, he also liked to go to this club in Hollywood called the Clockwork Orange, which was 18 plus club, which was really weird because he was like in his 60s, and he wanted me to go, and I said, I don't really feel comfortable going to clubs, especially like, you know, with you. And I kind of just upfront said it. She said, why don't you bring your friend? Your sister. My sister wasn't 18 at the time, so I was like, I'll bring my mom, and he was like, okay. So my mom and I would go to this club in Clockwork Orange with him, and he would just do his own dancing, and there was multiple rooms, so we could go to different rooms just on our own. He would take us back, give us $100 each. So at this point, I was getting $100, spent a couple hours with him dancing.
At the age of 18.
And then when we would go shopping, I said, okay, can my mom come? Like, it was just one of those things. One day, I said I couldn't, I was hanging out with him, and I said I had to leave early because we were over in Hollywood. I said I'm going to go work at the Boulevard with Superman because you can stand out there and collect tips from tourists.
But I was never
why
really
would you do that?
girl.
I said, I need to make money. He's like, I'm going to pay you. I said, yeah, but I need to
walk like downtown
more money, excuse me. And
around the neighborhood for the whole
I don't have any
night.
more money to give you. I said, that's
talking to
fine. I said, I just want to go on the Boulevard and work. So he followed me and saw me have lunch with my friend Chris, who I never, he was married at the time, never even, that's not even something I ever wanted to do. I don't see him like that at all. And we had lunch and he got so mad and he came up. He had given me a AAA card for some reason. I had told him I didn't have a car at the time, just to kind of avoid him seeing what I did have or what I didn't have or where I lived. I don't know. I just told him I didn't have a car and I was getting right with friends.
Let's go to
be honest, since this is an honesty video, it was more of to gain a little sympathy maybe that I couldn't afford a car. It's deceitful, and I honestly, it was deceitful on my part, and it was deceitful on his part, and there was a lot of deceit. So I think to have this kind of relationship, which I'll go into my next sugar daddy experience in just a minute, it has to be 100% truthful. So he ended up destroying this AAA card he gave me.
I just don't know.
And then that night he just kept calling and calling, and I was really scared because he didn't know where I lived. He had picked me up there a few times. I was really scared. I lived with my mom and my sister at the time, and he kept calling and being really nasty. It all just kind of turned, and really suddenly, and I saw the side to him that was really nasty. Back up a couple weeks prior, he had told me that he was like a gun collector and had a bunch of guns in his basement. He took me down to the basement and showed me the gun and locked me in, even though he said he didn't. He went upstairs, like, I'll be right back. He went upstairs, I heard it locked and latched, and I was locked in the basement. So that, I think I told that story in another video, I can't really remember which one, but that's where that played in. So I was already a little shaken by that. That should have been the preface to this. So little stuff like that, and how he told me one time that there was like a muffler, or like a muff or something for a gun where you couldn't, like his neighbors wouldn't hear the gunshot.
And it's like, it
was really, really scary. So all that kind of scared me. And then he started, like I said, that night, started harassing my phone. And my mom finally answered and said, you need to leave Trisha alone. And he's like, she owes me. She owes me this. She owes me that. I'm going to come in and get the bags I bought her and stuff. And mind you, he would start buying me stuff on his own that I did not like and I would throw away. And sometimes he'd be like, oh, wear that thing I bought you. And I would have thrown it away because it was ugly and I didn't have space for it. You know what I mean? So he was really, he said he was going to call the cops. And then my mom was like, I'm going to call the cops on you. It was a weird thing. And the cops ended up coming and becoming involved with the situation, and I think it kind of scared him because they asked him a lot of questions, and I don't really know the guy's story full on. The relationship in total probably was a good, maybe almost a year, maybe a little bit shy of a year, that happened. And it was good while it lasted, but as all things, sometimes things are too good to be true. So that was my sugar daddy experience with him. Now, right around that time, it kind of actually intertwined towards the end, which is another reason I was trying to make my space, is I was working at the strip club Godfathers in Canoga Park, and there was a lot of Persian people there. And there was this, the owners were Persian, and the managers are Persian, and black Persian guys, and I was a Persian guy's dream, and also the club I worked at, you also have to know, had a lot of ethnic girls. It was mostly black and a few Hispanic girls. There was quite a few like Guatemalan girls, but mostly black girls that worked there. So I was literally the only white girl that came in frequently. There would be some that come on Friday, Saturdays, but I was pretty much on any given day the token white girl blonde hair. So I was able, and that's why I liked the club, even though it was seedy and a little dirty and you didn't make a lot of money, it was easy for me to not. Not that I wasn't competition, it was a competition for people who liked my type. You know, there were people who liked little Hispanic girls or girls with big asses, like black girls with big asses. There was definitely types like that, and I was the only type that if they wanted me, they wanted me. So I got a lot of Persian clientele, and there was a guy named Amir. And Amir was super sweet. He would just come in because he was here in LA for like a 6-month job, 7th-month job, and he was super sweet. He would never really get dances, but if he did, he would do it just more to give the girl money. And he was very sweet, and he would always be wonderful. Whenever I'd go on stage, he would tip me so much money, and the girls would be so jealous. Like, he would literally tip me like $300 on stage, which was really unheard of. So everyone loved it when he came in, but then it became known that I was kind of his girl, like his dancer, so girls wouldn't really go up to him, and then you would go up to him, and sometimes he'd get dances, and it would make me super jealous. So I was like, wait, do I like this guy? Am I in a relationship with this guy? Like, what is it? Because he was just always really sweet to me and really just invested and interested in me. We ended up seeing each other outside of the club, and he's like, I don't want to pay for your time, though. I want this to be like a real thing. And I was like, okay. So it kind of was a real thing, but then when he'd come in the club, he would still tip me and, pay me just to talk to him or give me money. So it was a thing where it was like we were just kind of dating outside, but inside the club he would give me money.
Because I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna be fine.
I know he had asked me at one point how much it would be for sex, and at that time I didn't want money for sex, and so it was more of like we ended up having intimate relations, but he never paid me for it. But then in my mind I was thinking, but he should, because he offered. So it was a very blurred lines with that as well. Now the experience that happened really well for me, sugar daddy wise, was an experience that I liked the guy, same sort of thing. I really liked the guy, and he would help me out. He would put money into my bank account, but it never was about that experience. Was I madly attracted to him? Was I wildly in love with him? No. Was he a wonderful guy and a nice guy, and did I love him for what he did for me? Absolutely. And that's where the sugar daddy comes in my mind, is he's doing something beneficial for me, I'm doing something beneficial for him, and I enjoy his company. And I didn't see myself marrying him in the long run, and that's why that ended, because I think he wanted to maybe have a more serious relationship with me and maybe marry me and have kids and stuff like that, and I just didn't want that at the time. I just wanted the money and the clothes and all that other stuff. Now there are sites that still use my picture, even though I deleted, called Sugar Daddy for Me or Sugar Daddy IE with the IE.com.
I ate as much Millionaire Match as possible, which was like,
not only do they still use my profile that I had deleted, they have multiple fake profiles of me that are still up there. I don't ever go on those sites, and I really don't recommend those sites because it kind of sets you up like you're a prostitute. So while you like the idea, like I did, of having someone maybe take care of your bills and buy you nice things, they're gonna set you up for like being a prostitute on there. And sometimes these guys are crazy. I had a bad experience off there where I had a guy with literally one leg. His girlfriend was the girl that actually was murdered by that guy from Megan Once a Millionaire. His name was Ryan, and he ended up murdering his girlfriend, and I guess he was dating her at the time too, and had said something like he knew where her body was, like something so crazy, like about where he knows where dead bodies are or where to bury them, and it was so freaky. And he's like, I just hate whores like that. She looked just like you. She had barbed hard eyes. She had blonde hair. She had the big boobs. And I honestly thought he was going to kill me. He went to the back of the room, and again, he had one leg, but he was able to like work with it, right? And because I had gone just straight to his house, which again, I don't recommend. Meet someone in public first. I went straight to his house, and I heard him clicking something back there, and I bolted. I ran so far down the hill and just bolted. And it scared me because there are guys like that who may think that you are a whore or you're a prostitute, or they don't think it's fair that you're getting men to buy you things based on your looks. So if you are thinking of engaging in a sugar daddy experience, I really highly recommend, one, meeting them organically, two, not really showing them where you live until after a year and there's a trust or there's a certain likability that you guys have together. So the main difference between Amir and Al is I was uncomfortable with Al from the beginning, and I kind of ignored it because of the money thing. With Amir, I genuinely liked him, but it confused me that I kind of really liked him as a person and wanted a relationship, but also he had started with paying me. You can't really combine the two. If you want a real relationship with the person, neither one of you should accept gifts or give gifts from the beginning. Give money or gifts. That establishes right from the beginning. Amir was paying me for my time at the beginning, so it was confusing when we had the actual relationship. If you want a strictly sugar daddy relationship, you need to make that known up front that that's what you're in it for. And you have to say, I like spending time with you, but and if he asks if you like him or you're in love with him, say, I like spending time with you and I like what you do for me. And you're a nice guy. Letting him know from the front, up front, will sort of eliminate any sort of fuzziness in anybody's mind of what the situation actually is.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and go to work
overall, I don't, like I said, those sites and stuff are scary, and a lot of them are not millionaires. A lot of them just want to like mess with you, or a lot of them want to pretend or wannabes. And to be honest, at the end of the day, do you want someone, if you're looking for a real relationship, don't go on Sugar Daddy for me. If you're looking for a sugar daddy, don't go on Sugar Daddy for me. If you want someone to help you and take care of you, you're going to have to invest time as if you would in a relationship. I've never sought after guys, as you could tell from these stories. They all either we met organically, or like a millionaire match or a sugar daddy, which I said don't go on. You know, obviously we connected through online, but all these other people I met just sort of organically, and it kind of just happens. And you know, like I said, don't ever go. Just always meet someone someplace public for the first multiple times, especially in an arrangement like this. I wouldn't make it a sexual thing if you can help it, unless you are willing for that, because it will destroy you mentally. I've had sex with people I did not want to have sex with, and it destroys you and ruins your sex life for the rest of your life. You have a very warped sense of what's right, what's wrong, what sexually turns you on. And so I would just err on the side of caution, walk on the side of caution rather, when it comes to any of these sugar daddy experiences. You may be fortunate enough to find someone you are madly in love with who does have money, and I have dated people who had money that I'm actually genuinely in love with, that I would not care if they didn't have a dime. The guy I'm seeing now does not have a dime to his name, and I don't care. I love love, and I love the genuine relationships more. And at the end of the day, I've had money and I've been poor, and I've had to strip for money, and I've had to beg for money, and at the end of the day, I've been happy either way. Money doesn't make you happier. Sometimes it will actually make you more lonely. And so when you think the grass is greener, like if I had a sugar daddy to help me with my bills and pay for stuff, it's fun for a while, but it starts to like mentally like kill you. So those are my sugar daddy experiences that I've had.
Obviously not.
Like I said, I wouldn't seek after people just for their money. If it happens, it happens. And honestly, I'm so happy that I didn't end up marrying the guys that wanted to marry me or something. You know what I mean? I like the fact that
bacterial meningitis, and my mom works for like medical transcription.
I was able to just kind of, you know, do my own thing and make my own way in this world. And I think at the end of the day, I'm a happier person because of it, because I'm not having to cringe every time I get into Al's van, or I'm not having to wonder if Amir is going to pay me that night and I'm going to be able to make rent with it.
My mom's asking me,
or I'm not in fear that I'm going to get killed for going on a date for money.
I was like, I don't feel good.
It's just a scary, scary world when it comes to that.
I don't feel good enough to get into a car.
I don't judge either way. In my just personal experience, I would say you're better off without a sugar daddy. And if you get into a situation where somebody wants to take care of you and you are okay with it, then go for it and you feel comfortable. But never ignore signs that make you uncomfortable. And that is one thing I'm so thankful for, that I got out of the situation with the guy with no leg. I got out of the situation with Al because they made me uncomfortable, and no amount of money was worth feeling scared for your life. I will guarantee you that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know a few of you guys were wanting to know about it, and a lot of people are like, do you have sugar daddy? I don't have any sugar daddies now. I just, you know,
3 hours later,
I just started to go for what I wanted and focused more on finding guys with money, and I was like, no girl, like, my last boyfriend I dated had a house on the beach, nice car. I said, I can get this for myself, and I did, and that's what I did, and I think that is the way to go in life. If you want something, you do it yourself, and then ultimately you'll just be happier because you can find someone that you're actually in love with and compatible, and not with them just for money or what have you. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know it's a little bit different than what I normally do, but if you guys like these kind of videos where I kind of just talk about my experiences, I hope they do help. I know a lot of you are young girls, so hopefully you can learn from Mama Fish's mistake. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say hi to Rick Moranis, and until next time, human kisses for my little baby.
I really relaxed. I think I blacked out, actually, because I don't remember the whole ride.